Okay, so I'm going to take a look at creating a LED drawing using a new format that Daryl sent out, where we're going to input information to tables in Vectorworks on the print sheet. And what I'm going to do, I'm showing two things here. One's going to be just using the new format, and the other is going to be creating a new template in your Vectorworks library. So this is something that can be pretty useful. So just to start, you'll see why that's useful, but basically it's when you create a new file and you get this drop-down list and we have the Freeman templates, sometimes you may want to modify these and kind of create your own, and I'm going to show you how to do that. But just to start, I'm going to basically create a template based on this example file that Daryl sent out. And this is going to have, your print sheets, and it's going to have the table, the little spreadsheets in your print sheet that you can populate. So just to start with, let's go ahead. I'm going to go into the drawing, go to the front view, and I'm going to just start with, I'm just going to leave a tile in there just because. I'm going to delete these. I've already worked from this, so I already know where all the parts are hiding. So there's two base plates sitting there. So I'm just going to leave a tile just because. And on this print sheet, yeah, just for the sake of this example, I'm going to go ahead and delete the annotations. Good enough. So let's just say, one last thing is I'm going to move that over to the video layer just because. So this isn't exactly how I do it, but just for showing you creating template purposes, let's say I want this to be my starting LED wall template. I am going to go File, Save As, all you have to do is you go File, Save As Template. And I'm going to show you something about where this file is located. We work in a Dropbox folder that saves a lot of our company-wide templates and preferences and symbols. And this is handy because these can constantly be updated and synchronized without everyone having to re-download everything. But Vectorworks looks at this Dropbox folder that's live and constantly updated. But you also have local files that it looks at, and this is the folder path. So I'm going to go ahead and rename this using the same naming format that our Freeman ones do. And I'm also going to show you where this folder's at least in Mac. It's similar but slightly different in Windows. So if you go to, let's just start off with the the complete root one. So here's my hard drive. I'm going to go users, your username. You're going to go into this library folder, which if you go to show view options, if you don't see it, or where is it? Oh, right here. Show library folder sometimes could be unchecked. So just FYI on that if you don't see the library folder here. Application support. Go down to Vectorworks. go through these folders, 2017, libraries, defaults, templates. So when you save a new template, Vectorworks is going to be looking in this folder. So here's the template file that I just created. I'm also going to show you where our Dropbox ones are. So if you go in the FAV Vectorworks folder, looks like 2018 is already in the works, but we'll just look at 2017. Libraries, defaults, same thing, templates. You'll see here are the FAV templates that you get in your dropdown when you create a new file. And you can also, that folder that we just looked at, the Dropbox one, when you go in your Vectorworks preferences, your user folders, you can see it here. So if you wanted to put them in your own, like if you just want to create a folder in your My Documents for your own templates and symbols, and you didn't want to have a super cryptic, file path to get to, you could do that, and then you would add it here. But just note, we can't. The reason I'm adding my own local one is because, this is the Vectorworks Dropbox folder is updated. It goes to everyone in the company, so most people cannot edit or add things to it, and you don't really want that. So if you want to create your own templates and your own symbol libraries, you just save them locally on your computer, and you can create your own folders and add them into this location. So what I was getting at with that though is we can go ahead and we can build off of a different template when we want to create a LED drawing. So if you wanted to kind of find something that works for you and then save it as a template, that's how you do it. Because now if we go to File, New, in the Dropbox, you can see the LED example template that I just created. So I'm going to close the old one. This one I'm going to go ahead and save it in my desktop. And this is going to be a 4x4 wall, a ground supported option at that. Hope these are the right tiles. Yeah, that's right. Ah. Something else the other one of these this is basically an alternate version I'm creating for this proposal, but an option that I haven't done on here yet is showing flown wall. That's not right. Bumper bars. Double bumper. Okay. Let's just drop it right on that corner. Shoop. Shoop. Go right on the insertion point. So if we were to do a flown one, something that we haven't looked at yet is hoist. So we want to go ahead and I'm going to put an 8-foot box truss kind of hovering right above this. And we will go over here to our hoist tool. And I'm just going to drop hoist right here. I would make this one a 1/4 ton because this wall comes out to about 400 pounds for just the panels and cable plus your truss. So 2 1/4 tons give us plenty of overhead. I am going to put, I'm going to guess this is going to be right around 9 foot. Oh, where did it go? It's way up there. So I'm not super good with this one yet, but basically you can kind of see how it interacts between where you locate the hook. So I'm going to go ahead and just put that point. That's about where it'll float. So let's look at our object info for that. So that has my low hook height right around, we'll just make this an even 9 feet. And I'm going to take the high hook height and basically make that, say 10 feet, because that we don't need 40 feet of chain on our drawing. I just want to show the motors floating above it. And I'm going to create a duplicate one of these and just drop it over here. And I'll make that 9 feet again. So, ta-da. That looks good from the front. It's probably all over the place on the top view. Yep, look at that. So, these guys here, I'm basically just going to shift drag so that they are centered over the wall. Then if we look at an ISO, voila. I think I am going to adjust this so that the little top oval is the bag and the big rectangles are your motors. So center that over the truss and voila. So let's go back. So what I did when I left the template on the other drawing is I left a couple of viewports floating on there. One thing that we'll want to change when I'm not going to use this as my actual template. I'm going to make a few adjustments before I do anything like that. But I'm going to fix the class visibility because you'll notice the hoists are not there. So if I go down to the letter A, rigging, hoist, there they are. But I'm basically just kind of reusing some of the existing stuff on there. And if I did this for real, I'd probably make quite a few adjustments. But this is nice because it's already got these little spreadsheets dropped in here. You can create these from scratch if you need to, but the whole point of using this is because it was already put together and looks nice. So why not save some work? So I'm going to adjust this because it was an 8x4 and now it's going to be a 4x4, which gives us 16 tiles. So I'm going to just update all this information. You notice the aspect ratio is giving me some sort of number formatting. So I'm going to change this just to be a text cell. And then I'm going to retype that 1 to 1. And now it doesn't look funny. I round up to 25 pounds per tile just to account for cable and hardware. It's closer to 20, but this works for this size of wall. So 25 pounds a tile for 16 tiles gives us 400 pounds. Yeah, so with this one, I went ahead and reused the information. on both, since we're basically going from a 2-to-1 wall to a 1-to-1 tile wall. Excuse me. Close out of this. We'll want to go ahead and update our pull sheet as well. We've already got ITUD in here, just because I'm OCD. I want to make sure that we have the package with the 2 cables. I'm going to use items straight off of my pick sheet to populate this, so I'm going to put an 8-foot silver truss in there, NCSQ. I'm actually going to do this. I'm going to move this guy up here. Processing package. And then I'll put the NCSQ 8-foot truss silver. Oh, you know what? I'm going to change this version to a ground support one, so I'm going to go ahead and put all those parts in there. So we'll want 2 8-foot truss uprights. If we're doing the flying package, I would definitely go ahead and put in the 1/4-ton hoist NMDG. I'm not going to do that since this is going to be the ground supported one. The base plate. NDTT. I knew that. NDTT. 2 base plates. What else? Wall processing package. I took out the power distro kit because with a 4x4 wall, you don't really need to have that. You can just do it with Edison drops. Okay, that's good enough for me. Okay. So, real quick, I'm going to go and I'm going to switch out my truss support for a ground package. I'm going to just highlight all this, delete it, because I need to have vertical truss, and we want the top to be 8 feet off the ground. We don't have an 8-foot vertical truss for some reason. That would be nice. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to build my truss, my base plate, all that jazz. All right. So let's do this. Let's drag this guy right there. Look at it from the front view. There we've got our base plate. We want to drag this guy up and land it on top of the base plate. And I also want to copy, paste the truss, so that gives us an 8-foot deal. Put it right there. There we have a whole thing. Go back to top view. I'm going to rotate it. Oh, you know what? I can't do this in this view. I'm going to go to top plan view. I'm just going to use the rotate tool. Click here, snap to a 45. Copy, paste that whole setup. And let's go ahead and go back to this view. And I'm going to drop him right on that crease in between them. That doesn't seem right. You know what? That's something with the header bar. Let's delete the header bars. They're messing me up. Video. Won't be needing these. Go back to the top view. Rigging layer. Ah! Go right in the center, shift drag it back about there. Sounds good. Go ahead and do the same thing there. Put on the line I want. Then I'm going to shift drag the corner down to be on that line. Bam. Let's delete that, and everything is cool. Probably almost build this on a single upright. So that all done. Let's look back at our viewport. See how oops. Last thing we have to do is change the height of the wall. So if we go back to our front view, it was requested that the top of the wall be 8 feet off the ground. Let's see here. How should I do this? I can draw a line and going from here straight up. Make the Y distance 8 feet. We can drag it over to the edge of the LED wall, then select all the LED tiles, and we're just going to drag that corner until it matches the end of the line. There. Voila. Delete that line. Go back to our viewport. Looking nice. We're going to edit our annotations to show dimensions. So I'm going to grab on firstly from the top of the wall to the bottom of the base plate. Show that it is an even 8 feet off the ground. Then we want to show the wall dimensions. So from there, and from there to here. Now with the ground supported ones, it is very important to show. Let's edit the crop of our viewport so we can have them base plates shown. We don't like surprising people with our ground support hardware. So I'm going to do an annotation edit, show the overall dimensions front to back of the base plates, and I'm going to show the distance from the front of the wall to the front of the base plate. Worst case scenario, it'll probably be less than this, but I just like for it to be on the record. I'm also going to go ahead and add in a side profile to also illustrate this. So let's use our rectangle tool, create a viewport, You know, I think I'm in the wrong workspace again. Let's just get rid of that. Now let's try it. That's better. To match the other ones, they are 1 to 30. I'm going to drop this guy right in the center. Kind of eyeball line them up. And we also am going to draw in the same dimensions. 4 minutes. So front corner of the wall, front corner of the base plate. There. Cool. Last thing gotta do is punch in info on this title block. The show Constant Cheese Show April 2018. ICTE. We need a logo. Also, Wisconsin Expo Center. What is it called? The Wisconsin Center. That's right. 400 West Wisconsin Avenue. Okay. So let's bring in that picture. Sweet. Pretty awesome logo. They used a wheel of cheese instead of the number 0. That's pretty awesome. Don't need seating information. 1 to 30. Oops. Let's finish that up. Project, leave that blank because we dropped in a logo. Wisconsin Center. 400 West Wisconsin Avenue. Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 53203. 53203. 414-908. Okay. I'll punch in the booth and the exhibit and all that. You don't need to watch me do all this. Version number 2, good enough. Let's go ahead and make PDF. Okay. And I need my documents. Well, that's basically it.